Hey guys, Aussie Steve here. We buy houses in any condition in Louisiana. I'm here at a property. We bought this one a while ago actually. I think maybe 8-9 months ago. We bought this property. We're on the West Bank of Jefferson Parish in Marrero. I never did a video when I bought it because there was a tenant in it. And that's really common. The seller had reached out to us. She was done being a landlord. She was ready to sell. But the tenant was still in the property. They still had a lease. They wanted to stay in the property. And for her it was hard to sell because the tenant was there. It's hard to show and present a property. Tenants aren't always very helpful with that. Also, like most landlords, if they've had a rental for a while, they've kept it up okay. The property's okay, I'll show you in a second, but it's like, it's rental grade and some of the repairs aren't fantastic. So just a bit of deferred maintenance, nothing too crazy about it, but it's just really hard to sell. And then to sell to someone that, to a homeowner, they don't want the tenant in the property. So they want the house a bit nicer to buy it and they want the tenant out of the property, and these things aren't always easy to achieve. So, luckily, we love rentals. We do flip properties and we'll buy and sell properties for sure, but, our favorite strategy is to keep them. So we don't mind having a tenant, and we can deal with them. Even if this tenant was fine, they're paying probably a bit under market rent, but they were looking after the property, so we didn't have an issue with keeping them, although the lease expired and they were ready to move now, so they've just moved out. But we were happy to keep them. Sometimes they're problem tenants, and we're fine to buy a house with problem tenants. Not that we want problem tenants in our property, but we do know how to deal with them. So you might have a tenant that's not paying, that's not looking after the property and want to sell it. We can buy it with that tenant and we'll take responsibility. Just like we buy a house that needs repairs in as-is condition, we'll buy a rental property, that has a bad tenant and fix that problem, So these are things we do. So if you're selling a rental property with a tenant in it, we're a really good option as a buyer. We also understand sometimes, you don't want us to come in like Home Buyer Louisiana shirt. Sometimes you want to keep it a bit more discreet, so we can not wear our shirts, and it's pretty common for a landlord to send inspectors over to look at the condition of the property and insurance agents, etc. So if you need us to look inconspicuous, we're happy to do that, because we understand until you have a contract, you may just be thinking about selling your house and you don't really want to scare the tenant. So if that's you, then we know how to be reasonable like that. But I'll show you around the house. So, you guys, if you've seen my videos, I definitely buy houses a lot worse than this. So this is pretty good by my standards. But, the floor's a bit uneven. You'll see sort of just, landlord level, like repairs to the property. Look, there's paint up on the trim. It's scuffed. It just, so it wasn't ready to sell to a property. For the owner to sell to a homeowner, they would have had to get rid of the tenant. So then I'd still have a note and they would no longer be getting rent. And then they'd have to come in and spend money to, paint, fix it up. This one wouldn't be a massive rehab, but they'd have to not be getting rent. They'd have to come in and fix it. Then they'd have to list it on the market, and then they'd have to, get an offer. The person, when you sell on the market, there's normally a longer time. They're going to be using financing and they need to go through inspections, and they might pick you up on that inspection report. Maybe the financing falls through, particularly now with interest rates going up, people are falling out of financing, or they get the insurance quotes and they're too high and then they no longer qualify the loan. So, then the deal might fall through, you got to find a new buyer, and that can take time. So, in the meantime, your rent's gone, you're paying your note, you're paying the taxes, insurance, and all that sort of stuff, and you've spent the money to fix it up. So you're sitting there waiting, and if you can afford that, and that's fine, then you probably should do it, because you're going to sell to a homeowner and they're going to eventually use bank finance. You can squeeze them up to top dollar. So that's like not a bad thing to do, but it's not for everyone, right? In this case, in a lot of cases, they don't have the money, time to want to do that. They just want to move on, sell it as is with the tenant, full cash, fast, quick closing, and that's what we do. So if you have a house with tenants, that you want to sell, reach out to us. If you have a house that needs repairs and you just want to sell as is, reach out to us. You can check out our website, homebuyerlouisiana.com. You'll see lots of information on there about selling your home. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.